Uh, uh, yes, yes, yes. Welcome to Go Long Live with Barry Long the second. I am Barry Long the second. Barry Long 2. Don't forget the 2. I'm not the first. I'm not the third. We are live on CoachellaValley.com. We are also live on today'scalifornia.com. We appreciate for everybody tuning in the Valley, everybody sharing the post. We also have people that are watching overseas as well. Remember, you can drop your comments in the comment section on Facebook, and I can pop your comments up and I'll shout you out. Now, hopefully everybody is having a good Friday. It's Friday night and I feel all right. Yes, it is Friday, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. We're going to talk a lot of NFL today. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball today. We're also going to talk some boxing, and we're going to break down the division, the NFC East. So if you are a Cowboys fan, or I know it's a lot of y'all out here, it's too many of y'all out here, but if you're a Cowboys fan, you are going to want to tune in later on. They've been on the Hard Knocks. If y'all haven't got a chance to see Hard Knocks on HBO, make sure you go and get your HBO subscription updated, because Hard Knocks is one of my favorite shows, and it just makes you feel like football is coming back. You know, football will be here in less than a month, so I'm excited for that. And we haven't had too much stuff going on TV lately as far as sports is concerned. I was watching the Little League World Series today, watching Northern California versus Southern California. It was a heated game. But yeah, it's not too much stuff to watch on TV right now, but we are right around the corner. So you guys, hopefully you are as excited as I am. Now, let's jump right into some NFL news. I want to talk about Desean Watson. Like, Desean Watson is a very serious case going on right now with all the accusers that he has, the sexual misconduct. Of course, he's accused by multiple masseuses that they said that he wanted them to touch him in areas where you're not supposed to be getting touched by masseuses. So yeah, he was basically took it way too far with 22 women. He had a flawless reputation before all of this happened. I mean, if you talk to anybody about Desean Watson, they were saying the first thing they would say is, "Oh, it's a high character guy. Oh, he's a great teammate in the locker room. Oh, he's just a great person." They talked about how much he gives back and all his philanthropic ventures that he's involved in. They talk about the person, and his reputation took a big hit once the first lady came out, Ashley Solis, and she accused him of sexual misconduct. Then the lawyer Tony Bugsby went through, and he just went out on social media. He started recruiting all those masseuses that have had similar experiences with Desean Watson, and they got a whole squad. I mean, they almost got a football team of women that are ready to say that he did sexual misconduct to them. Now, there's no criminal charges being filed, but this has been an ongoing saga, especially with him and the Houston Texans, because he is having issues with the Texans front office, so he wants out. So just recently, and real quick, we got to shout out Nazira Khan. Good morning. Good morning. I'm assuming that you're coming to us live from Malaysia. I told you, we are global here on Go Long Live with Barry Long the second. So shout out to them, and shout out to Craig Campbell, who is tuning in as well. But yeah, so Desean Watson, his reputation has taken a big hit, not just with the sexual allegations, but with some of the ways that he's been addressing the media. 2 days ago, he was walking into camp, and reporters were asking him, and they're going to ask you every single day about the sexual misconduct. They're going to ask you every single day about why you're taking days off, and do you really want to be here or not? Well, he snapped at the media and told them it's the same bleep every single day. Why y'all keep messing with me? That's reporters' jobs, first of all. Second of all, his reputation is taking a hit in that way, because when we first saw Desean Watson, he was your prototypical perfect athlete to endorse a product, because he always said the right things. We didn't really see too much personality from him, but we saw a little bit of personality from him. He had a flawless reputation. He's a top player in the league. He's tough. He's a leader, and he never got caught with his pants down until now. So literally, his reputation has taken a hit, and the NFL is investigating. The Houston Police Department is still investigating. But Ashley Solis, the first young lady who came out and described her story in front of the cameras, in front of the microphones. You guys remember she came out and she spoke in detail about what happened and told us just about everything. And, described how that experience kind of hindered her from working. And she was believable. There's just no other way to say it. She was believable. And watching that testimony was kind of like, man, Desean Watson, he's a creep. I mean, even if he didn't do everything that he's been accused of, I mean, the guy has too many masseuses. So his reputation took a hit that day as well. Well, she's now being investigated by the NFL. The NFL has sought out the women to find out the entire story, and they want to do their digging. And they do their due diligence with every single case that comes before them. We just heard today that free agent running back Darius Geis has received 6 games for his domestic violence that occurred in the offseason. So the NFL is out there asking these women, what's going on? Why, they're asking them questions. Well, Ashley Solis today came out and said that she felt like the NFL was victim blaming and asking her questions like, what were you wearing when you massaged Desean Watson? Asking them questions like, how did you look at him? I mean, these are ridiculous questions for the NFL. And it makes sense because the NFL wants to protect their brand, their product. He's one of the top players in the league. And frankly, he had a flawless reputation. They want to maintain that flawless reputation. And he's good for the NFL if this gets swept under the rug. So it's kind of weird and kind of interesting that the NFL would ask questions like that. But the Texans have put him now to number 4 on the depth chart. So we won't see him playing for the Texans. So they're coming out bad of this. He's coming out bad in this. The women have it bad. I just hope that everyone in this case, when it's resolved, has a happy ending. I had to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, so Desean Watson, he's being investigated by the NFL. We should see more coming on in the next coming days. Now, also, I want to talk about Dwayne Haskins. Now, we know Dwayne Haskins played for Ohio State. Then he was drafted to his hometown Washington Redskins team. He had now most of the time when players are getting drafted, they have their family beside them. They got the camera on. They got their little brother there. They got their girlfriend there who's about to be rich too if he puts a ring on it. So they got their family and they're surrounded by their family most of the time when you see these draft parties. Dwayne Haskins had a draft party where he was charging cover, and it looked like he was at a club. It was just ridiculous. I mean, that's not a way to start off your NFL career. But he got drafted to his hometown team, which is dangerous for a lot of people, for young athletes with a lot of money who really didn't play 4 years in college. That's kind of dangerous, and it was dangerous for Dwayne Haskins. He underperformed. I mean, because frankly, you got people that you grew up with asking you for tickets. You probably got people asking you for money. You probably have a nightlife out there that you were used to that you don't want to let go of when you're that young and not focused. So a lot of superstars, it's not really good for them unless they're Giannis Antetokounmpo-like to be superstars in their hometown fresh out of college. And that's what happened to Dwayne Haskins playing for the Washington football team. And we never saw him reach his full potential that he was frankly projected to have when he was being drafted. So Dwayne Haskins got cut from the Washington Redskins when they were the Redskins, now the Washington football team. It was very sad, but he is now playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are saying that he's a backup for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're saying that he's going to be a real good solid backup for this team. And let's bring in Washington football team fan and the moderator of this entire website, Craig Campbell. Craig Campbell, how you doing, sir? Craig, how you doing, sir? Can you hear me? Hey.
What are you doing? Very long too.
Just having a show, man. Just
I can't hear you too well. I'm out here at the Idlewild Brew Pub. I had to get a little cooled off. Okay. Considering the Coachella Valley is so hot. But man, I'm telling you, it's gorgeous out here. Look at this. Look at my view.
Oh wow, awesome.
Yeah. Up here in the mountains in Idlewild, really enjoying it. I heard you talking, but I don't know. Have you gotten into the Field of Dreams yet?
We are getting ready to talk about Field of Dreams right now, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my God, perfect. I'm telling you. Talk about
Shout out to
Talk
the
about a
zero.
dream come true. That was an incredible home run fest, going back and forth with the walk-off home run by the White Sox, Mr. Anderson. I mean, are you kidding me? Could you dial it up any better than that?
Couldn't have dialed it up any better than that. So for the fans who don't know what we're talking about, there was a Field of Dreams game yesterday. They played it at the actual field in Iowa that the movie was shot at. Kevin Costner came out. You also had the players come out of the corn, just like the movie. It was absolutely incredible. And like you just said, Craig, Tim Anderson did win the game in the bottom in the end of the game for the White Sox. They won 9-8. But yeah, it's just that was one of my favorite movies growing up. My dad's favorite movie. Shout out to my dad. Did you grow up loving?
Well, I was going to ask you, how old were you when you actually saw that movie? Of course, I saw it in the movie theaters. No way you did.
No, absolutely not. I was a kid, and
you probably got it on Netflix when they used to send you the videos in the mail.
No, this is Blockbuster.
Yeah, it was really incredible. You know, I knew it was going to be a big game. What a great experience. Of course, they canceled it in 2020 due to COVID, but I'm so glad they did it. It's incredible. That entire environment was absolutely amazing. The way that they had obviously put the lights out there and the home runs, that ball's just flying into the corn, into the maze.
It looked amazing.
Very, very, very cool. Every game should be like that. Somewhere.
Yeah, and Major League Baseball does a really wonderful job with all these different types of things that they do. They of course, a couple years ago, they integrated with the Little League World Series, and they played a game at Williamsport between the Pirates and the Mets. So that was a really good thing for all the little leaguers to get to spend time with the major leaguers, and so Major League Baseball has been getting this part of the game right in the past few years.
And you know what? I just want to tell the fans how much we appreciate you guys. Today's California. You guys have been really watching a lot and sharing a lot. We appreciate it. You know what? We could send you guys a link if you're ever interested in joining Barry and I live right here and just be one of the boxes. We could send you a link and you guys could come on board. So don't forget about this. This is an interactive show, and we want you to tell us where you're from, what you're doing, and come on in the show. Interact.
Absolutely. So then I had another story that I wanted to share. Simone Biles, she was bit by a German Shepherd over this past week. Very serious. She showed her some of her scars. But yeah, I imagine her face probably looked like that when she got bit by the German Shepherd. She is going to be okay. She's got a couple stitches. But yeah, just maybe the dog.
How do you learn this stuff, man? I mean, what are you just hanging out waiting for the stitch report?
Yeah. I mean, I'm connected, but yeah. So maybe I was thinking maybe this German Shepherd was a gymnastics fan, and maybe they were mad. The German Shepherd was upset that she didn't compete. I don't know, but well, that's crazy. Just get bit by a German Shepherd.
I say cheers to that. I'm not really sure about the dog biting. That's horrible. You know, I got bit as a dog when I was not as a dog, but as a kid by a dog. Yeah. And it's pretty post-traumatic stress syndrome, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, not very fun, but I love animals. Don't you?
Yes, I love animals. Absolutely love animals. But German Shepherds,
you know
they're serious. That's a serious breed of a dog. That's why they use it for police dogs.
So because of the noise behind me, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to come on in and just say hello and thank you very long for Long Live. You're doing a fantastic job coming at you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, about the 6:30 hour around your sunset time. Come on, join us and learn everything there is to know about the sporting news. Hey, NFL is in town. We got the Cardinals and the Cowboys playing. Pretty incredible time. I mean, I love it. COVID's open, stadium's open, and all of the news and banter is about us. So,
absolutely.
Hey,
all
man.
Right, well, thank you.
Talk to you next time.
I will talk to you soon, Craig. Thank you.
Bye.
And just like that, we are here by ourselves again. But yeah, you can easily pop in like that if you're watching the show live on Facebook. Shout out to everybody who is tuning in. Please comment below. Nazir Khan commented, Barry, good DJ, very interested. Shout out to you. But yeah, we are live on CoachellaValley.com, also live on Today'sCalifornia.com, and we are live on Facebook. So if you are watching, please comment, and we can pop up your comments below. Now, Bobby Bowden, one of the great coaches, college football coaches. He passed away a few days ago. They had his funeral today. He won 2 national championships. He's a 12-time ACC winner and just a really good coach. And we really do, type of love that we have for them. You know, they stay with the program for a really long time. These are coaches that we really you have a different relationship with your head coaches if you're a college ball fan or college basketball fan, college fan in general. And Bobby Bowden certainly was one of those. So we just wish him and his family the best, and our thoughts and prayers are with that family. But yeah, we told you we were going to talk some NFL, and of course we have to talk NFL.
Hey there, Barry. Just want to let you know you got a little trouble with your microphone. Might want to reset, maybe come back in. Okay. And let us know when we turn on the video. It was a little bit crummy, so you lost a few folks. But let's see if we can get you back in.
Okay, absolutely. Let me get out and get back in.
Hey guys, don't go anywhere. Craig Campbell for CoachellaValley.com and Today's California. You are watching Go Live with Very Long too.
And we're back.
And a few technical difficulties, but we got them back here. So I'm going to step out and let them jump on in.
All right, thank you, sir. Sorry about that. This is live. This is this is a live show. That's what we do here on Go Long Live. Different from most of your other podcasts because they're usually pre-edited, pre-recorded. No, we go live here. Like Bill O'Reilly said, F it, let's just do it live. We'll go live. That's what we do. But yeah, so we're going to talk some NFL football today. We're going to talk NFC East for all you Cowboys fans out there, because I know it's a lot of you. You guys saturate the NFL market. I mean, there are so many Cowboys fans from here. I mean, all over the world, frankly, to be honest. And that is a testament to Jerry Jones and what he's been doing as far as marketing this team and and building the brand. He certainly has built the brand in a wonderful way, and shout out to him. But we're going to talk NFC East, and I go from worst to first when I break these down. We have now covered all of the AFC. We've covered the NFC South, and now we're on to the NFC East. So, without further ado, I want to tell you who I think is going to be the number 4 team coming up this season in the NFC East, and that is the Giants. I apologize to all the Giants fans out there, but it's just been a rough road the last few years with the Giants. Still not a believer 100% in Daniel Jones. You had Saquon Barkley go down last season with that terrible knee injury. He's coming back. He's fresh. He's now, off that PUP list. So we should see him out there. But I'm just not sure if he's going to, be 100% this year. It usually takes you about 2 years to overcome a devastating injury like that to look 100%. We see it in basketball a lot. When we saw Paul George have that terrible leg injury, we saw, Gordon Hayward. We've seen other guys come back from ACL injuries, from leg injuries, from compound fractures, whatever. But it usually takes about a year for them to feel 100% confident when they step on that leg. And I think it'll take us a year before Saquon Barkley is the ultimate force that we know he can be. But also, I like their wide receiver core. I like Kenny Golladay that they added. I like Sterling Shepard that they've had. They have a pretty good defense last season. They were 9th ranked defense in the league. But last year they were in a lot of games, and they lost a lot of games by close margins. But that is again a testament to Daniel Jones. I'm not really 100% believer in Daniel Jones. And when we talk about this conference or this division, it's been called the NFC least. It has been a long time since they used to call it the NFC beast. But yeah, it's been called the NFC least because it's like who wants to win this division? Because teams keep losing, and we see it time and time again the past few years where these teams in this division are all terrible. And this year might be not that different. It usually takes about an 8-8 record when you have a 16-game season to win this division. This year we have a 17-game season, so I think it'll be like an 8-9 to win this division. Just based off the strength of the schedules, I just really think this is going to be a tough year for this division. And the quarterback play. So you got the Giants. And it'll be interesting to see what second-year head coach Joe Judge does. He's been instilling that Patriot way, Patriot-like culture. And, this is the second year. And so maybe we'll see some turnover. Took them up. I believe they started off 0-5 last season. It took him a while to get his first win. But he looks like he's going to be a really good head coach for this team moving forward. So I have picked the New York Giants to be the worst team in this division. They will finish 4th. It's been a long time since Eli Manning, y'all, and that David Tyree catch. Now, excuse me, you are watching Go Long Live with Barry Long 2, Barry Long II. We are live on CoachellaValley.com as well as todayscalifornia.com. So if you haven't liked those pages, please go to those pages, like the page, and you will get an instant pop-up right when we go live. Shout out to Nazira Khan, who commented, said, very good, DJ, very interesting. You can also have your comments being read on the show just like that. And I believe Nazira is coming to us from Malaysia. So shout out to Malaysia. Never been, but definitely would want to go someday. Now, let's jump back into this NFC. We are talking NFC East. The third team that I have in this division. Yes, I have the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, they have a new head coach, Nick Sirianni, former Colts offensive coordinator. And, it's rough usually for first-year head coaches in this division. We saw that with Mike McCarthy. He had a rough year last year with his first year in this division. Doug Peterson really was the only one that didn't have a bad first year in the last probably decade as a first-year head coach in this division. Wade Phillips, it happened for him. It happened for Jason Garrett. It happened for a lot of people in this division. But Nick Sirianni, I think it'll be a little tough sledding, and mainly because of the quarterback play. You got Jalen Hurts, who stood in for Carson Wentz last year, and it ultimately got named the starter over Carson Wentz last year, and which led to his departure to Indianapolis. And to me, it's kind of interesting that the former coach, the Colts or offensive coordinator, and Carson Wentz kind of changed places. They, one went from Indy to Philly, the other one from Philly to Indy. Craig Campbell, how you doing, sir? Do we still have can you hear me?
Hey, I'm great, man. I just loving your show. I'm just hanging out, getting ready to take off, and wanted to say goodbye for a little bit, and I'll talk to you after the show, my friend.
Okay, thank you, sir. That is Craig Campbell with CoachellaValley.com, popping in. Yo, we can pop in on you. But yeah, we want to thank him for all the good things that he does for the Valley. I mean, not just for CoachellaValley.com and just for Today's California, but for a lot of different entities out here. He's out here busting his tail and getting people the exposure that they need. So shout out to Craig Campbell. We really do appreciate you for everything you do, man. Now, so back to these Eagles. Now, these Eagles, they had Jalen Hurts stepping up for Carson Wentz. And he went on a 1-3 record last season, so he wasn't great. He played better than Carson Wentz did with the limited weapons that they had. They had nobody. The roster was so depleted offensive wise that they had Deshaun Jackson come back to Philadelphia. He couldn't even play. He was injured. The best wide receiver they had was Nelson Aguilar a few years ago, and they haven't really they've been thin at the wide receiver position for many years. But they went out and they addressed that in the draft. They went out and got Devontae Smith out of Alabama, one of the top wide receivers last year. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate as well. And we saw him actually win the Heisman last year. So shout out to Devontae Smith, but he's injured right now and he's going to miss 2 to 3 games. So, and it's an MCL strain, which could get tricky. It could pop up on him at any time in this season, and we might see him, miss more games. But as a rookie in this league, I think that he's going to be wonderful when healthy. He's got to put on a few more pounds, just like Hollywood Brown from the Baltimore Ravens a few years ago. He's a speedster, just like him. But, this is the NFL, and you're going to have 335-pound guys falling on top of you. So in order to sustain his body for a long career, he's going to have to put on some pounds. But, yeah, we've seen him being injured, so we don't know how effective he's going to be this year. The defense wasn't that great last season. They were 20th ranked defense. And I like them up front. I like them with Fletcher Cox and Hargrove up front, but their secondary just literally got exposed last season. So they're going to have to address that. They're going to have some growing pains, I believe, with first-year head coach Nick Sirianni, and I'm picking them as my third team in this division. Now, this picking the number 1 and number 2 team in this division was very, very difficult for me because the quarterback play is what's really going to it's what it's going to boil down to this season. And the Washington football team, they let go of Dwayne Haskins in the offseason. Just said they couldn't do it anymore. I mean, he was just doing too much. After a win, he's over there taking a selfie with a fan when they're supposed to be downing the ball to end the game. And then you got issues where he's out of the strip club, and he's got all the strippers wearing his jersey after a game. It's just they had a lot of issues with him, and they decided to move on from him. And they have a backup in Taylor Heineke from the ODU product from my hometown in Virginia. And they got Ryan Fitzpatrick. And we see Ryan Fitzpatrick step in on multiple teams when their quarterback goes out and have Fitz and be called what they call him as Fitz magic. And he's had some really good seasons in the NFL. And he's a veteran. He knows how to read defenses. He's just a good presence in the locker room. He's a good guy for your younger quarterbacks to learn from. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be a really good, solid quarterback for them this year, I believe. I believe he'll have a pretty good bounce back year. Sad to see Alex Smith go, but we didn't really think that we would ever see him on the NFL field again. And he made it back to an NFL field, and he'll do well as an analyst. But Ryan Fitzpatrick leading this team. He's got some good weapons around him. You got Terry McLaurin. The O-line was a top 5 O-line last year. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is definitely going to be protected. At Washington, that's basically what they were missing. It's just a quarterback. I mean, they have what I believe is the best defensive line in football right now. And I mean, when you just go down the line, you got Chase Young. Ugh. You got when you say Chase Young's name, you got to say it with disgust. Chase Young. Ugh. And then you got Jonathan Allen out of Alabama. You got Darren Payne, and then you got Montez Sweat on the other side. Oh my goodness. This D line is very reminiscent of the 49ers when they made it to the Super Bowl this past couple seasons ago. So it's very reminiscent of that. This is a dominant a defensive line that can take over the game, just straight up take over the game. I mean, with that pass rush, there's just no way that offensive lines are going to be able to stop them. Or maybe contain just a little bit, but not be able to stop them. And I like them on the back end. I like what Landon Collins brings to that secondary. I love Kendall Fuller. So this team has a very good chance of finishing number 1 in this division. And like I said earlier, this division is tough to see who's going to win because these teams keep losing, and you can win this division with a losing record the past few seasons. So it'll be interesting to see. But I have Washington number 2. The only caveat is if Dak Prescott remains healthy, then I have Washington number 2. But if Dak Prescott is not healthy, then I got Washington at number 1. But for sake, I would just say that right now we're going to go with, for all intents and purposes, we're just going to say that the Cowboys will be the number 1 team in this division. Now they are on Hard Knocks. Whether or not you believe in Mike McCarthy's inspirational tactics, whether or not you believe that he's a good leader as a head coach or believable in the role that he's in. He's got a lot of criticism. He is a good play caller. That's one thing we do know. And Dak Prescott being back is really going to be the determining factor whether or not his team gets over the hump. This is a loaded football team. We've been talking about it for years. They got a great defense. They just didn't have a great defensive caller in Mike Nolan last year. But that should change with Dan Quinn. We saw what Dan Quinn did in Seattle before he became a head coach in Atlanta. The Legion of Boom, that was Dan Quinn's defense. So Dan Quinn brings that same mentality to Dallas. So, they finished 28th in the league last year in defense. I mean, their defense was no reason why this defense underperformed the way that they did with the talent that they had on that roster. But we shall see that change this year, I believe. The O-line, which was once considered the best O-line in football a few years ago, now is one of the worst O-lines in football. And that might change, with a healthy Dak and a healthy Ezekiel Elliott. Their ability to run the ball might be a little bit better. But Dak, all he's going to have to do is just really say hike and get the ball out of his hands, because Ezekiel Elliott's looking really good in the footage from camp. Looking like he's going to return to that elite Zeke Elliott that we've seen in the past. They got Amari Cooper. They got CD Lamb, Gallup, Jarwin at the tight end. I really do like this team. So it all depends on Dak. If Dak Prescott cannot stay healthy, and we know he's coming back from that devastating ankle injury, and now he has a shoulder sprain in his throwing arm. So if we see a healthy Dak Prescott this season, then I think that this team will win this division. But their backup quarterback is Garrett Gilbert and Ben DiNucci. And they ain't getting it done. So if Dak is not healthy, I have Washington winning this division. But for all intents and purposes, we will say that the Cowboys will win this division this season. And looks like our time is coming to an end, but I just wanted to pop up that meme real quick. This is it. This is the NFL players showing their vaccination cards. Now, if you watch this movie, Superbad, it's one of the cult classic movies. And McLovin he's just one of the most popular movie characters of all time. And that's when he was showing his fake ID. But yeah, a lot of these NFL players, they're gonna start doing these mandatory vaccinations. They've already started it in different cities, but they're going to start doing it for the leagues. They're going to start doing it for your job. You at home watching right now, they're going to start requiring you to have a mask. They're going to require you to have a vaccination, proof of vaccination, or they're going to require you to have a negative COVID test within like the last 72 hours or however they put it. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. But the NFL players showing their vaccination cards to the NFL. Like, I swear I got it. I swear, but please believe me. All right, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who is tuning in. Thank you to Craig Campbell for joining us on the show today. And thank you to all of you for continuing to support the show. And we really do appreciate it. And remember, when you go out this week, have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Well, remember these 3 things. FMI. Stay focused. Stay motivated. Stay inspired. And remember, you are capable of doing anything. This has been an episode of Go Long Live with Barry Long 2. See you next time.